Hello friends, it is 1 in the morning and I've been trying to make a video for like 4, 6, 8 hours this week, depending on how you look at it. I said I was going to do more freeform videos and then I just ended up making a big script instead of actually following through on that. A lot of my videos have been bigger videos that are going to be scripted, so here's something that's less scripted. Mainly because I've been staring at this document, like working on trying to make this script and the other script, and every time I look at the word count and how long I've been writing, it just drives me up a wall. Despite the fact that I have a video I very much want to do, here's the thumbnail for it. You'll probably see it within, I'm hoping, the next week or so. And I'm hoping the reach on that's really good, but in the meantime, let's just kind of talk about shit, because there's kind of a lot going on in the game right now. People are probably wondering about Dial-In and the new DA boss and all of that stuff. And until I actually get around to making a Dial-In video, which God knows when that'll be, I'm slow to do, like, everything. That's the fun part about working a full-time job. I wish I could be doing more of this, but I can't. Also ADHD. So we're just going to be doing this for the time being. Think of this as the What's New Eridu version 2, except I'm probably not calling it that anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the thumbnail or title of this is going to be. And you can think of this like a more podcasty type video. I'm going to try to do as little editing as reasonably possible and needed for this one. So if you just want to have this in the background while you're doing something, go for it. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Dial-In is the best character in the game. I don't know if it's close, but at the bare minimum, she's the best support in the game. This character is ridiculous. This isn't a subject opinion. I'm seeing everyone, maybe not call her the best, but definitely say that she is ridiculous, which is, I guess, code word for certain streamers as ridiculously busted. People just have their own grading scales when it comes to this stuff. It means effectively the same thing. Whatever, wording doesn't matter. She's insane. Considering the last stunner we had was Jufufu, who was solid, and her main gimmick was just letting you get some more energy to maybe get another ult in your entire DA run. Having a character that just does that every stun rotation, but not like a little bit of charge, but an entire ultimate, on top of being lighter, but for everyone, is actually insane power creep. Like, I don't know if this is okay. Now, granted, she's a support, and she works with about everyone, so technically almost every team got buffed this patch. That being said, with the way gacha games work, I'm not going to be surprised if this ends up being a really bad thing. And that might sound, like, ridiculous, but the way this usually goes is that if a character pushes the bar too far, there's consequences for that. Like, not even using other, like, gachas for an example. When Miyabi came out, it was obvious that they wanted a higher, like, power tier, like an obvious, like, higher level to what characters are considered as when they're considered as being good. Like, she was made to be a level above everyone else. She's still a level above everyone else. They made her so ridiculously fucking strong that it feels like they've been trying to nerf her every single character in every single patch that's come out since then, and they're failing. I never pulled her because I didn't like the idea of that. It sounded so fucking stupid to have a character that's just miles above everyone else, and also I just don't care for stuff like that in general. A lot of this is going to be elaborated on in the video I'm putting out later, but they made 2 bosses just for her to kill. Like, that's the thing. If it was all, like, optional, it would be whatever, but they made 2 bosses that were tailor-made for her And you can see that too, because they really don't want her to be good, so they haven't been putting those fucking bosses in the rotation anymore. It's been so long since I've seen them. It's actually insane. What were they fucking doing with her? And of course, like, post Miyabi, what's considered good has now been shifted up dramatically, because now everyone looks at Miyabi and goes, okay, well, that's the best character, why would I pull something else? Except that's not really how people think. That's how Hoyo and other gacha companies think you think. So that's what they were doing their assumptions off of. So Evelyn was close to her power level, but a little bit behind, and she needed lighter, so she had caveats. And then Astra came out, and now we're in a different era of support. Because before Astra, supports were more limited, and still very strong. Nicole is insanely strong. But Astra is a character that is significantly easier to play. You hit one button, and she does ridiculous levels. Think about how strong Astra was at the time, and how, like, everyone's best team just became Nicole Astra. And then think about the fact that Astra is still good, but not as relevant as she was. Because Yuzuha came out, and she's Astra, but specifically for anomaly teams. But Astra is already really good for anomaly teams. She was almost like a mainstay in those teams anyways, because she buffed both carries. And then think about Lucia, who came out recently, who is Astra, but for Rupture teams. So we now have an Astra, but for all three of the main, like, DPS archetypes. So we have, like, an Astra clone for each of these different subtypes. What the fuck are we doing with Dial-In? Okay, so she's the obvious premium for stunners. Okay, so we have 4 premium supports for... Well, Dial-In's just good for everyone. Like, think about it. At least with those, like, 3 overpowered supports, they all had their niches with one archetype, but we're still, like, good for others. Well, Lucia doesn't really do anything for the other ones, but, like, I use Yuzuha for Anton teams. People used Astra for anomaly teams. They had universal application. It wasn't this. God. I don't know what to do about this. Because every time one of these, like, big support characters come out, they're pretty much a must pull. It's not even, like, just this game, too. Fucking HSR was the same way. God, if the new support character comes out, you pull them or you, like, fucking forfeit your account. The content just gets made around them. Also, it's just built off the assumption that you have that fucking character at this point. No one uses Lucy. We've replaced her. It's Astra now. The assumption is that you have Astra. What's the point of other stun characters at this point? Like, I guess Kaleda does more days? Who cares? None of it matters anymore. I think the answer is just that you have other teams, but God, the amount of, like, fucking higher tier supports is just vastly different. Like, with your DPSs, you choose what DPSs you play. But with supports, they're so much more susceptible to power creep. Like, I'm trying to make Kaleda work in a world where Lighter exists, but Lighter got power crept. Like, what the fuck does that put me in my position? What am I supposed to do now? I don't know. And it's not, like, all doom and gloom. Like, hey, you should probably pull Dial-In right now. I did. I've been testing her out. She's really good, you know? She makes a lot of teams better. Monato feels really good to play now. That's crazy, right? I haven't even gotten to test her with Anton. I've been, like, finishing up the story mode. I'll touch on that a little bit. I did finish the 2.4 story, so I'm not waiting till, like, the very end of the update cycle to do that. So, you know, improvements, yay. I've been trying to work on these videos as well to get them out as soon as possible. Now I'm just doing this now, I guess. But I'm hoping for really good things. Here's the problem, though. If Anton's really good, he's also now relatively not that good because there's going to be other characters that get to benefit from her really well. And the problem with having a character this good is that you have other teams. I've been feeling the problem of not having Yuzuha for, say, my anomaly teams. If I want to play Anton this cycle, that means my counter to the Miasmic Fiend doesn't have Yuzuha, so that's lovely. That's great. So if I choose to put Dial in with Anton, Erminato, or like any DPS, my other DPS options lose that. That's her only weakness, is that she doesn't have multiple versions. It's so dumb. Why did they do this? And again, this doesn't sound like a bad thing if it wasn't for the fact that, as I was trying to like demonstrate earlier, whenever a curve of power happens like this, it changes the way the game is played moving forward. When Vivian came out, Bernice just wasn't a character anymore. You can still try to play her, except for the new fucking anomaly boss that came out is resistant to fire. So even in a neutral situation where Vivian is beating Bernice, Vivian is now stomping Bernice because Bernice can't do damage. Like, the fucking Jane Bernice team that was pretty, like, relatively common, just a solid anomaly team that you could use, is having a hard time fucking clearing because the boss is resistant to fire. Why was that necessary? You're fucking over one character. Oh my god. And of course, Vivian has ran twice now and I haven't been able to pull her. She's not even like ridiculously overpowered or anything, it's just, that's just an archetype of character that we have two characters for, and you fucked one of them over. That's the thing I don't get. If like, it feels like Anomaly is supposed to be played via disorder teams, but our off-field support options barely exist. We have two of them. Oh my god. Most of the other ones you have to play on-field for some amount of time. And doing two on-field anomalies just doesn't really feel great. I don't get it. Like, we couldn't have had a fucking 4-star fit that role. Like, we couldn't have done that for, like, Pulchra. I don't know. Make Sweetie a 4-star. I don't care. This is so fucking stupid. The thing I just don't like when it comes to a situation like this is that if you're new, you don't know the pattern yet, but whenever a big character like this comes out, the power creep gets worse. Because if characters are just allowed to do 30, 40k in this meta, what the fuck are they gonna do to balance that out? What are they gonna do to make Dial-In just unfucking playable? What stun character comes out after this? What stun character do you reasonably drop to make them like an appetizing pull over pulling for the character that lets you ult 5 fucking times in a row? What's the balancing factor here? They're not beyond, like, just making a character useless. I mean, okay, getting into the new boss now. What are we doing? It's recommended for stun characters, but our only double stun comp in the game with Hugo, the character that wants to run double stunners, the most stunner team that you can physically run is ass. What the fuck do you mean part of the boss can't be stunned? You're recommending stunners? No, you're recommending the new stunner. The stunner that hits the fucking EX special key and like gets all of her buffs up. What are we talking about? What are we doing? Okay, to clarify, Hugo's not like worthless for this boss, but he's certainly not doing good. For all of the pulls you need to put into him, I've been seeing clears about like 22k without like limited mindscapes. I saw someone get 40k, and then I checked their Hugo and it was M6. What do you mean 40? 1,000 points. That's what I got on Hugo when he launched. On Marionette. It might have been like 45k, I don't remember, but I hate the way the game feels, man. I hate seeing just how far the fucking number falls. The thing that I don't get to is that as of lately, it feels like I see everyone get 20k points and no one can get past that. Like, we all just get to the 20k mark. So like somewhere between like 20 to 22k, maybe 25. And that's like it. Regardless on how much you try, like what like builds you're running, if you just don't have the right fucking character, you tap out like 22k. Which would be, it is concerning, but it's also concerning in a different way where, why is that happening? It feels like they're like balancing the game around like just making everyone get that 20k mark. Assuming like you're maxing out your builds and everything. I don't know how to feel about that. Because if that becomes like the new normal, it's not like the worst thing. That would imply that you can just kind of run whatever you want as long as it's reasonable. You can get the 20k that you need. But like a couple months ago, if you picked a reasonable team and you were like dedicated, you can get 30k, you could get 40k. You didn't have to settle for like just barely passing. I don't know. It feels, I'm wondering potentially if maybe the situation isn't as bad as it feels. Just seeing everyone clear these bosses. Like maybe they were just balancing around making it so that getting past 20k is like a fucking whale achievement. I don't know. It doesn't make sense in my head. Just seeing scores get cut in fucking half, but they still work. Like most teams just work. I don't know. Something's not computing. It just doesn't feel right. And the longer I've played these games, the more like I've been learning to just kind of trust that feeling. I think so many of us, when this game came out, wanted to just kind of believe that it was the best possible situation. That like these are the devs. And it's just feeling more and more like, yeah, it's hoyoverse. The devs are really good. The business model is still the same. Shit's just the way it is. Deal with it the best you can, I guess. I don't know. I hate that feeling. I really do. Especially because like I like put myself like out there and like made it such a like a big part of when I started this channel of just like, oh yeah, you can just play whoever the fuck you want. You really can. I can clear the worst characters. You can do whatever the shit you want to do. To certain degrees, you still can. But it feels like, I don't know. It feels different now. I think that's the best way to put it. It just feels different. Like back in the day, whenever I say back in the day, it was months ago. It was like half a year ago. A year maybe? I don't know. Whenever I like started out doing this, and people were telling me that like Anton was like a garbage tier, like terrible character. He was towards the bottom. He still is. Even like getting buffed and everything. But I never had issues clearing. His numbers were really damn good. He kept getting buffed. I think he would be in a really shit situation right now if he didn't get Yuzuha. And if he didn't get Dial-In. But he did. He did get those characters. A Chingy and Nicole team would be kind of suffering right about now. That's why I kind of stopped playing it. But a fucking Dial-In Nicole team might be fantastic. I'm gonna try that out soon. Granted, our Deadly Assault bosses are fucking awful for this, but we'll try. It's a weird time. It's a weird fucking time. It just used to be different back then. Like, when people would tell me, like, these bad characters were, like, fucking awful and you can't use them, they weren't trying. But nowadays, like, the people saying that are... They're not entirely wrong, they're not entirely right, but, like, the bar got moved. Like, I'm hearing that Ellen and Juan and, like, the early game, like, 5 stars are bad. That Hugo is bad. I don't think they're wrong, but, like, it's... What are we defining as bad? As much as I've been, like, pissed off about the state of the game lately, are we really gonna call those characters bad? I don't know. it's... I feel like I debate the politics of this game so much. I feel like every goddamn YouTuber that's in the circle debates so much bullshit about this game. I watched like a discussion like a couple months ago about people like debating power creep and what it even mean, and does this game really have power creep, and what's this and what's that, and it was stupid. Like, just to be honest, no offense to any of the YouTubers involved with that, it was just stupid as hell. And I was there, and I just remember the entire time thinking, everyone's missing the point if we're having a debate on this. Objectively, from an objective level, there is power creep. You cannot deny it. Dial-in wasn't even in the game at that point, but like, we didn't even have leaks. But like, look at the numbers of the fucking bosses. Look at the power levels of the characters. People want to be able to play who they want to play. People don't want the game constantly getting harder where they can't keep up. The thing to remember is that if we're playing daily, if we're playing weekly and monthly, and we're pulling for new characters, the game should be at a stable level. But if we're fucking struggling, what do you think is happening to the new players? The people that play casually? You might just say that they're not trying that stuff, and that's probably true. I don't think game modes like this should be locked away for players to be able to experience, especially casual players, but I don't know. It's a weird thing to balance. It is endgame content. It's supposed to be the hard, difficult thing to do in the game. So I shouldn't be surprised whenever the weaker characters are having a hard time clearing stuff. But that's not my biggest gripe, because it sucks. It does suck, but the thing that fucking irritates me is whenever it's a situation like, well, honestly, most of the recent bosses. The Defiler wants you to run 2 attack characters in the same team. If you didn't pull Seed, you just flounder at that boss. People are telling me like, oh, well, I ran like Billy Nekomata. That's great, man. I don't hate myself. I get that you can just run 2 attack characters to get those buffs. It's ridiculous. It would be nice if this was encouraging like weird off-meta team comps, but when I have to sabotage my own team because there's only one attack character that works as a secondary to having a attack character currently on your team being Orphe, and there's one character that works as a primary to enable a secondary attack team, or secondary attacker in the team, they're telling you to run that team comp, or at the very least Seed, because you can have another fucking attack character in the team and still get your buffs, and Seed kind of just works the way she is. I've had people tell me like Seed Anton gets like 40k in that situation, and it's like, that's great, guys. This shit sucks though. Even like at like a meta level, I don't want Seed. At a gameplay and like personal level, I don't want Seed. I think she's so fucking annoying. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion to have. She's like my least favorite character in the entire game. By like a long shot too. Even like unpopular characters like Nekomata, I don't have an issue with. It's Seed. It is specifically Seed. And the game's telling me because I didn't like pull her to just kind of like go fuck myself. Also, with that boss, Anomaly Resistance. Fuck you if you want to use one of the 3 fucking archetypes of like DPS teams in this game. Same shit with the boss that just came out. Use stunners, except don't use stunners, but use dial in. Wandering Hunter was like fine from like a universal level from like, what people tell me. I still don't fucking understand why I'm using the team comp that came out with his patch and getting barely above 20k. Using Dial In, I got 22k. Using Panda, I just hit 20. But I will say my builds aren't exactly entirely complete for those characters. I'm still learning how to play Monato. I got his M6 and I barely like saw like a point increase. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know. I just don't know. It used to be so tangible too. I used to like play through like DA, like get my score, go great. And then I'll try a different build or try a different team comp, get my score, look at it, and go, ooh, I think I messed up here, and that's why I'm seeing this 1,000 point decrease. Let me try again, and I get it, and I get that like score again, and go, okay. Now, I played this run really similar to the other run, so let's try it this way. And I could just like grind out and test runs that way. It just doesn't feel that way anymore. I'll like try out a team comp, or I could 10 different rotations, and I just end up with the same score. I don't know. I think that's just a summary. It's just I just don't know. I don't know how to feel. I don't know like the direction we're going. You know what? No. Let me just call my shots. The game's gonna get fucking weird. It's been weird. The level of like power creep has been weird. I can only hope that if this trend of power creep continues, I hate saying this, because we hoped this for Miyabi and it was almost true, that there is going to be a higher echelon of power. There's the T0 like characters that are made to exist, and I pray that they're just going to let Miyabi and Yishuan and the new Fox Girl and Dial-In just be there. And Dial-In looks fucking weird being there, but if that's the top of power that we have in the game, we'll be okay. And hell, the first two, those two Void Hunters, they're still at the top, haven't been dethroned, so that's great. It's great. Ignoring the fact that when, like the past like 6 months, they've been trying their best to put Miyabi out of the game. Miyabi scoring better than Hugo for the fucking boss that won Stunners. Sorry, I'm keeping that silence in because I said that out loud and I wanted to... Wow, yeah, no, I hate that. I really do hate that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just seeing people... Was that R2? Did I see R2 get like 30k with Miyabi on... I'm pulling that up right now. Because R2 like plays a fuck ton of Hugo. We're doing this shit live. I don't care. I'm not cutting this out. R2... 34k. I thought 30k. 34k. 43k, but that's M1 Dial-In. I'm not counting that. Yeah, R2 hasn't run Hugo with Thrall yet. As far as I can tell, at least not in any of these thumbnails. So, that's great. I like seeing the best Hugo and the best Miyabi teams without limited Mindscape so far, having a 12k point difference on the boss that wants you to use fucking stunners and doesn't want you to use anomalies characters. They can't make Miyabi bad. Even in this like era where it's like everyone's getting 20k like fucking clears, like I mentioned earlier, it's Miyabi still getting 34k on a boss she's not supposed to beat. That's great. Well, hey, I wanted those to be the peak of power creep, so that's something. That's certainly something. They couldn't let them have anything, could they? Christ. Again, I just really don't know how they sell another stunner after this. What the fuck comes next? You know, it's another thing too, like with like HSR, when they started like shilling a fucking new like way to play the game, they just ended up immediately nerfing it within the coming months. It's insane to me that HSR promoted Super Break as just being the way you played the game for like half a year, with like Firefly and like all those fucking characters, like post, we're just gonna say Raiden, Acheron, there we go. Post Acheron, it was Super Break, and it was Super Break for like many months. And we get the fucking premium support for Super Break, and that's the last thing they do with Super Break. And that fucking archetype falls off the goddamn map and never to be like touched again. At least from what I can see. Again, I'm not actively playing the game. But I'm looking at the fucking tier list, and all those characters fell off the goddamn face of the earth. I wonder what they're gonna do. Are they gonna remove the goddamn stun mechanic like next like 3.x? Are they just gonna remove stunners? Are they gonna make us a stun character that stuns even regardless of like there being a stun meter? Like, how do we balance that? Are we gonna make it so like all of the characters in 3.x use their decibels to like fuel their attacks and they don't use ults? Or all of the upcoming characters gonna have ults that do 0 damage or that heal them? I don't know. It's such uncertain times. I'm just gonna stop harping on it. Let's talk about something else. 33 minutes in, I guess. Story update 2.4. I'm not gonna talk spoilers. I'm just gonna say that I gave that one like a 9 out of 10. I would have given it a 10 if it wasn't a bit weird at the end, but it was certainly weird. And what I mean by weird is that I feel like they did rewrites. I feel like that's why the voice lines were missing for certain languages, so I swapped to Chinese for this one. It was a weird experience, but like something was weird about the end there. I saw people like commenting on what they think the real right was before the update actually came out. I'm wondering if they might be right. I'm trying to like find a way to like say it without saying it, so I'm just gonna say there's something at the end that definitely feels like it got rewritten, because there's voice lines that happen off screen and there's like a little like epilogue section. I don't know. I feel like maybe like that's what it was. I got no idea. All I know is just something felt off about that. Everything else though was really good. Like one of my favorites, probably my favorite in 2.x. All of the Spook Shack ones have been really good, so that's cool. This game's still pretty good from a casual level. I think I just kind of need to like start separating myself as much as I can from endgame, because it's pissing me off the more I have to deal with it and the more people talk about it. Not a slight to any content creator, more of just this game is feeling less healthy to play. I don't know if the game has actually changed that much to like warrant that, but I just gotta talk about the game, and the more I talk about it, the more I get annoyed. So like talking about it's not even a good spot. I don't know. Talking about the other character that's coming out in 2.4, Banyue is a character. I'm hoping he's a good character, because I like him. He was really cool. I don't know the specifics about what's been data mined and everything and how people are perceiving his power level. We have a very obvious character to pull for right now. What I will say is that playing as him in the demos, I'm really fucking confused. His goddamn unique mechanic requires like 5 fucking years to get charge. It's insane. I don't know if I'm missing something, but it's ridiculous the amount of effort it takes to get him into this one stance. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. I really don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like he's gonna get buffed before his banner comes out. Or maybe they're just throwing him to the goddamn wolves because his banner is 12 days long. Shit like that pisses me off. I don't know what is the plan there. I don't know what they want out of him. I don't know any of what the idea with this character is. Which is a shame too, because it feels like they really liked him when they were making the story. Like, his story is really good. I like his arc. It's really damn good. They made him cool as fuck. They made his animations cool as fuck. I don't... when he got announced, I was really hoping that he wouldn't power creep Monado too much, because he's just coming out the update after. At this point, I'm worried if he's gonna beat Monado. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it. Maybe his numbers are really good. Maybe I'm stupid. I got no fucking idea, man. I really do not get what we're going for here. I love this game. I really do. I wish it just didn't disappoint me as much as it does. Like, I was really excited for this update. It was like, oh, Dial-In's gonna be so great. Banyu's so cool. Their animations are like some of the best we've had in the game so far. And here I am, about a week after the patch, and what are my thoughts? Dial-In is so overpowered, it's genuinely concerning. I don't even have the high yet of like playing her of Anton, because the DA assault lineup just hasn't really allowed for a really good matchup. So I'm gonna just try, and we're gonna see what works with the current bosses. I'm scared about Banyue. There's so many different ways to look at it, but just simply enough, it's concerning to have a 5-star version of a 4-star just come out immediately after the 4-star comes out. That's a dick fucking move. It's more annoying to have them both be men, because now they're directly competing, and there's barely any men in the roster. But we finally got another limited 5-star, and they're fucking him over by giving him the shortest banner in like any Hoyo game's history. That's ridiculous. On top of that, he might be really fucking bad. And being a bad 5-star is worse than being a bad 4-star. Significantly. No one will ever pull him if he's like worse than Monado. Even more so, I don't want him to be bad because he's a really cool character. But I also don't want him to power creep the fucker. They've put us in a situation where I can't win. Where he can't win. Like, what do we do? This is such a lose-lose situation for everyone involved. And that goes for Dylan as well. Because if she was bad, no one would pull her. But if she's this level of good, everyone needs her. And the game is going to center around the fact that she exists. And the new boss we get fucking sucks. I haven't even talked about it, but he stalls for time, which just is a irritating goddamn mechanic. It's cool to fight in the story mode, and that's about it. I'm tired. Not even because it's 2 a.m. now, but because the game makes me exhausted. That's about it. Talking channel stuff for a minute. Holy shit, 9,000 views on the last video is fucking insane. I don't even know what to say, except for I wish it was a better video. I really do. I put out that video to follow up on my promise because I did say I was going to make a Dawn video, and I realized 3 minutes in that I didn't have anything else to say. Because I got there and I just went, shit, I could have been testing more, I could have been doing more anything, but there wasn't like a follow-up like, yeah, so like here's how like the numbers are, like it's pretty good for like these teams and this. I was testing Anton with Nicole, realized that her quick assists take up most of his fucking field time, and went, shit, this doesn't work. Fuck. Like I just went, well, damn it. That idea just doesn't work anymore. I can't do that. There might have been ways to like counteract the quick assists, but no one said anything to the contrary. So I think I was right the first time around. And it just became really obvious that like that just doesn't work. So I didn't have any way to extend that more than a couple minutes of talking about it and like an opening and all that shit. So I rambled for the other 9 minutes to stall for like time. Not that I'm even monetized, like I don't get, like the watch hours barely help me. It gets me closer to monetization. But everyone watched 4 minutes of that video anyways, to be honest. So I appreciate it. I really do. That was significant viewership. I'm glad some of you are sticking around for that. I don't blame anyone that's not subscribing though, because again, that's the video I'm the least proud of. I put it out as an update video. I don't know how I got 9K. I don't know if this video is going to get 1K. It'd be great if it does. That's kind of like the most I'm hoping for a video that I assume is going to have like a really basic thumbnail and title and basic ass editing. If you're sticking around this long though, thank God you're helping my numbers significantly. I really appreciate it if anyone's sticking around through all this. That means a lot. Even if you're just putting this on in the background, that's why I made it. Because I needed to put some video out here while honestly, I'm hoping this next video is like a pretty high like production quality video that people kind of gather around a little bit. I'm not making it specifically for Zenless, I'm kind of just making it for the concept of gacha games, specifically Hoyo games as a whole. And we're gonna see if that works. I'm running out of things to say. It's 46 minutes in. I could talk about shit for so long. All I'll say is I've almost got my recording studio fully set up. I'm probably going to be moving my computer in soon. And I'm going to try to start streaming. follow me on my platforms for that, including this one, if I can figure out how the fuck YouTube streaming works. And we'll do more of this live, and I'll do more of my recordings live. And hopefully all that sounds good. So, once again, thank you if you've listened this long or listened to any of my other shit, and I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. You take care. You have a good night.